Everybody, I'm Stacy with Stacy's Organizing and Decorating for Life. I'm here to help you organize your thoughts and decorate your perspectives. So I'm back from my vacation this week. Look, I got my BB King t-shirt. Yes, I did. So I'm pretty excited about that. We had a wonderful time, and it was the family vacation. It was me, my mom, and my brother, and I can tell you that I haven't sworn anything off. In fact, we decided we're going to go back to Louisiana, New Orleans, and stay for 3 days next time instead of one, because one just isn't enough. And then we're going to go still yet to Memphis or Mississippi and stay some more days there, kind of split it up more evenly. So I'm looking forward to that next vacation, but I know many people who take family vacations or a trip with a family member and they swear it off, never again, never am I going to do this again. And that's pretty normal too. So both of those are normal, whatever that would be. So we're going to talk about, delve deeper into healing the family bonds, and the holidays are coming up. This is a good time to start working on ourselves. And that's the thing, is we can't heal anything without working on ourselves. So if you like that that's our topic today, you're ready to get ready, then please hit the like and subscribe button below. But before we get started, if you come to this channel on a regular basis, I want to thank you for coming back and thank you for following me. That I really appreciate it very much, okay? If you share these videos, if you think that they'll help somebody else, that's even better. So what I have to, though, let you know, if you're new to this channel, is that I'm not a doctor, psychologist, psychiatrist, or even a scientist, any of those things, but I love to study those things, and I share with you those things that I learn and my thoughts and perspectives on those things. What I am is actually a life coach. And like I said, I help people organize their thoughts and decorate their perspectives. I have a web page called staceyreineck.com. And on this webpage, there is a description of the services that I provide as a life coach dealing with addiction, codependency, and grief, but not exclusively to those things, because underneath those things lies a desire for healing and healthy relationships, as well as development of spiritual and soul consciousness. What it is about, it's about going within, pulling that stuff off of your soul so you can grow and feel good in your own skin. So if you or anyone you know need help in any of those areas, please feel free once again to look me up at staceyforlife.com, and also you can reach out to me at staceyreineckforlife@gmail.com. Okay? So thank you very much. I look forward to connecting with you. And as always, if you have any insights into these videos or you need me to share on a specific topic, and if I have any kind of knowledge or experience with that, I would love to share with you. And if I don't, sometimes it's fun that I get to learn more that way. Okay? So into our topic today, in our family dealings and such. Well, I just wrote a blog, and I encourage you to check that on my webpage too, about perfectionism. We have this ideal of a perfect family, and usually it is not ours. I used to tease my own kids about my Norman Rockwell picture, because we see these pictures, and as you saw with my quote yesterday, I posted a picture of a very old TV set. And I don't know about other states, but I know in Texas, when I was a kid and had a TV set, and it wasn't that old, y'all. I'm not that old, okay, when you see that old TV set. But we had channels 4, 5, 8, 11, 13, and 21. We had 5 channels. I don't think any of you today would want to watch that TV set with just 5 channels, because we've gotten pretty good at surfing the web, surfing the net, and I don't have a TV per se myself these days, but I do watch things on YouTube, I watch things on Netflix, and I can tell you that old TV set does not contain that. So what I'm trying to explain to you is, metaphorically, sometimes the old things, though as beautiful as they are and as much as they were needed and appreciated, they were outworn and outdated. And such are our thoughts and our beliefs and our perspectives about our families. See, because it comes from belief systems. We developed our belief systems from our families of origin. We couldn't help it, y'all. That's just the way it is. And I've said before, and I'll say it again, what if we chose that for our higher and best growth? Perhaps they were even with us in a previous life, and that we, wanted to continue these growth relationships into the next life. I don't know. But I'm just saying, what if, then we're more empowered if we say what if rather than feeling like a victim of our family life. And I know that there's some very victimized things that have happened throughout families, so I'm not saying that you chose any of that. I'm just asking you to entertain different thoughts and perspectives, because if we come into these relationships with the same thoughts and perspectives from those old TV sets of the past, then it's not going to suit us or benefit us today. Those old programs that we watched on those old TV sets are not at all what our reality looks like today. But some of us still carry messages in our lives like that, if this makes sense at all. So what happens is that we just keep growing and developing. Now, like I said, we look at the old TV sets, but now I have my computer. I can work on my computer. I can talk to people on my computer through Zoom meetings. I can do so much through my computer. When I was a youngster in Florida, we went through Epcot Center, and you saw all this. You saw a girl, they had a little stage scene where a girl was on her bed looking at a computer, and that is now into fruition today. We never know what's going to happen, but evolving is necessary, and we have evolved, y'all. But some of us haven't evolved our thinking. We're still sticking with these old ideas. When I'm working with people, sometimes they say, I can't pray for myself. Well, I don't know about that. If you feel good and convicted in that, I'm not going to say that it's wrong, but I do tell people you can pray to see things differently, see things a different way. But it involves oftentimes, I know for me, I didn't think that way until I read different literature that connected me to a higher power of my understanding, you see, because the old higher power, like the old TV sets, didn't work for me anymore, because a relationship is growing and evolving. It's not just going to sit there and look pretty. It's something that we have to put work into and thought into. And so that's where this growth comes from, is when something doesn't feel good, we change it internally, because we can't change it externally, although in our humanness, sometimes we try to change things externally. If this person would just do this, I would be better. If this person did this, or why don't they meet my needs, or this or that. And they just don't intuitively know. And it's oftentimes that I'm talking with people and they have an expectation, and I worked on this hard and heavy myself in codependence, and sometimes we have an expectation of somebody to have the capacity to do something that we know that they don't have the capacity to do. But yet year after year, time after time, we keep having an expectation that they're going to be different. And we know obviously they are not growing and evolving. So the pain that we feel has to be healed within ourselves. So I wrote a rhyme about that. You want to hear it? Here it goes. It says, we feel and we heal. We grow and it's real. So that's what we do in our evolvement and our being able to sit with ourselves. On my trip, there was times when I got huffy, but it wasn't at a person. It was at Google. My brother would give me directions to drive through Google. Google likes to take the scenic routes. At nighttime in towns we don't know, the scenic route is not fun or cool, because first off, I can't see the scenes. Places aren't open that are paid Google to send me that way, and everything else. So I would get so mad, pissed off at Google, because it would do that. My poor brother, I wasn't mad at my brother, and he knew it. Thankfully, but how many of you ride with people and they may say, you know what, I'm sick and tired. If I see another cornfield, I'm going to scream, because in the daytime it did that too. And there was a time where I had to go to the bathroom, and Google once again was sending me on the back roads of Louisiana, and I kept seeing all these cornfields, and I was like needing to go to the bathroom, and I was hungry and I wanted to go home. And it's like, oh my gosh. But my brother was patient. He just sat in the back seat. He changed the map to a different map, and instead. And I love Google. Google is my information highway. I could not, so Google, don't get upset with me, because I know these people pay you, and we all got to get paid. In fact, if you want to donate to my channel, you can donate, at PayPal, staceyreineck@gmail.com. Because everybody wants to get paid. I understand that. I'm not hating. It's just when you got to go to the bathroom and you're hungry, and, or it's night time and you don't want to be on back roads, it can be an inconvenience. When I'm at the beginning of a trip, I like the scenic route. So with that being said, I'm going to tell you the quote that I posted yesterday and the thoughts that I had yesterday to promote or to take, to do the video today. So that is, this quote is by Josh Billings. It says, "I have lived in this world just long enough to look carefully the second time into things that I'm most certain about the first time." Again, that's Josh Billings. "I have lived in this world just long enough to look carefully the second time into things that I am most certain of the first time." What this calls and brings about is an expansion. Because how many times have we heard, we've sat in a room and heard the same thing but heard it differently, finally heard something else, or read something and then seen something else. This is about expansion. You see, we stay locked and loaded into things when we demand that it be a certain way. Demanding is not open. To be open is to be able to look at something again. Sometimes it's suggested to me in our humanness we don't want to. We want to think we already know, but if we already knew, then we'd still be stuck with that box TV. Expansion is being willing to grow. So I hope that this video has helped you. My blog talks about perfectionism. So we're going to talk a little bit about perfectionism and where this comes from. I was thinking about perfectionism, and the thing is that oftentimes in working with people, they boast that they are perfectionist. And so when we take a further look at that, they learn to get messy and get into things and to quit being afraid of making a mistake, because being a perfectionist holds us back from our, sometimes we don't get things done because we want to do it perfect. So what does this come from when we're talking about healing family bonds? Perfectionism comes from rigid parents, critical parents, neglectful parents, because oftentimes there's these eggshells that are created. And if we think when these eggshells are created, when we don't want to make ripples and waves and, we're walking on eggshells, it's because we think that if we can be a certain way, maybe we won't have an explosion of anger, transference of anger. So transference of anger goes into your cells and all. And this is why when we get to be an adult, oftentimes we're still triggered. Those are where our triggers come from. And we are triggered from some of the same things. That's Grinch in the background if y'all were missing him. So we're triggered by some of the same things that, affected us in childhood, although it's a subconscious thing. So we come from more of a reaction. I've spoken about that before. But when we're just going to focus on perfectionism, this video, and how that stifles us and holds us up, but also the pain. Oftentimes when I'm talking to people, they want to be healers. They want to help people heal. They've become good listeners because these parents that were critical or rigid or neglectful didn't listen. See, because most people want to be heard. So a lot of people want to heal people because they have the ability to allow people to be heard. However, if they haven't worked on their own healing, that can kind of stifle, because then how are we going to help people heal if we haven't worked on it ourselves? And I had the opportunity when I was in Texas to perform the Reiki, to practice the Reiki on people. I got my Reiki certification, as I said, at the beginning of last year. And can you believe this year is already almost 8 months into the year? And Christmas will be here before we know it. So it's important to understand where these traumas come from and where this pain comes from. So whether you're with somebody or not with somebody, if you're not with somebody, you still don't have to feel alone, because you're not with people when you have self-love, you see. But sometimes we can be with people and still not feel loved, and so I've had to heal a lot in that area myself. So that's why I work with the healing. So what I got to work on is with Reiki, like I said. And so what I'm able to do in Reiki is because I've worked on the healing myself, the non-attachment to this, because I don't want to transfer my pain to anybody else. So the things that I've gotten to heal from, I get to transfer to somebody else through the energy work that I get to do. And I was so blessed to get to do that, because it also helps me too, because as I help other people in that area and send that energy to them, I can feel their healing energy begin. And so it was just a very healing experience. So there's many different ways that we can heal, but we can't intellectualize healing. You know, if we could, we can't just heal on our own usually, because humanity was created to extend into each other, not be codependent. See, because a lot of people that want to heal are coming from a codependent place to where if I don't want people to feel like I feel. And that's nice that you don't want people to feel like you feel. But it's still not healing, you see, because until we feel, we can't heal. What was my quote that I said? If you'll put it in the comments below, that would be cool. We feel and we heal, we grow, and it's real. You know, because people can tell when you are real and you're genuine. And when you've done the healing work, rather than if you're just sitting and listening to them and you've read it in a book, but you don't know, you know, if you haven't experienced it. So oftentimes I don't do business coaching because I'm learning myself right now. Someday I might do business coaching, but that's not something that I do right now because I'm learning, you know, to do my business. So I want you to understand that there's things that we don't know, and there's nothing wrong with it in this perfectionism plane. We can learn it. We have this information highway. We have the computer, you know, that we can Google it, y'all. That's what my daughter tells me every time I don't know how to do something on the, you know, these technical devices. It's like, how do I do that? She's like, Google it. So there's so much information out here for us that wasn't there for our parents. So it's all about forgiveness. In this blog that I wrote, it's about, you know, forgiveness and acceptance and to be compassionate. This world needs more of that, y'all. So I hope that this video has been helpful and made you want to probe into ways that maybe, you know, you can accept that you don't know. And you're not supposed to know until you do know, you know, and you have to learn. We are all teachable. I'm still teachable. We're all still teachable, and we have to be teachable to be reachable. You know, because there's oftentimes I'm working with people and it's like, oh, well, you've got a problem for every solution. Yeah, you know, so I also talk about in that blog about humor. Again, go check out my webpage, read my blog. It'll be up in August because the reason that I did a blog on perfectionism, a blog on perfectionism, which that's not perfect when I can't speak right, but was because I didn't do a blog last month. I didn't do a newsletter and blog last month, but I think that everyone that I send these to are very forgiving and no one fell over, and they may or may not have even noticed. I did notice, but I also have worked on myself enough to where I don't have to be a perfectionist. If I needed to honor myself and I just didn't get inspired, I don't have to bullshit my way through it, you know. And I think that people like me to show up more authentic than just to be stretching and not be inspired to write. There was a lot I had going on last month, and they could be excuses, but they're not. I just didn't get inspired to write my blog. As much as I love everybody, and everyone knows my love, you know. And that's the thing about when you work on yourself, I don't worry about the expectation of others because I know that they love me. And see, when we love people, we let go of our expectations. There's realistic and unrealistic expectations, you know, but most of all, the expectations and boundaries we set with ourselves. And maybe that's what next week's video will be about, is those expectations and boundaries we set with ourselves so we don't set ourselves up in these holidays to get hurt, okay? All right, so if you have any thoughts on that you would like me to share about, then please list them too in the comments below. But remember, we have to feel, and then we heal, and then we grow, and it's real, okay? All right. Thank you so much for your time. Again, check out this t-shirt. BB King, take it home. All right, and I'm going to do that now. So I wish you much peace and love, and I look forward to connecting with you again next week. Thank you so much. Bye.